The air defense system is working. Here, come on in.
Deep in the enemy's rear, it's pure mysticism. Fuel trucks, cargo trucks, and ammunition depots are suddenly bursting into flames. However, this nightmare for the Russians has a very specific authorship. Ukrainian drone operators and a drone with the telling name Sorcerer.
Today we are planning for all the birds to fly 350 or 400 kilometers along the CATSAP's logistics route.
The distance is considerable, so before takeoff, there is a full check of the onboard electronics and communications.
The aircraft is powered up. Just ensure you connect it correctly.
After checking the systems, the wizard adds a bit more destructive magic. They mount the warhead.
Our aircraft are specifically equipped with advanced high-explosive fragmentation mines designed to effectively engage both moving and stationary targets on the battlefield. These munitions are remarkably compact. In fact, just a few kilograms of high-grade explosive material is more than sufficient to neutralize a significant number of enemy personnel across a wide area of impact.
Chaklun, wizard. Budo is a development by Dnipro Aeromodelers. At the beginning of the full-scale invasion, they converted their civilian drones for military needs. In the Donetsk direction, pilots of the 237th Battalion of the 7th Air Assault Corps are also operating with these aircraft.
In terms of specifications, it's very simple. Like its weight is around 45, 60 kilograms, depending on the modification. The first few times we tried flying it over a short distance, well, it's cool, but not quite it. And now we are flying and hunting the enemy almost near the Sea of Azov.
Hundreds of kilometers ahead. Final preparations on the runway, the roar of the engine, and the aircraft sets off on its mission. As soon as the drone gains altitude, all control is transferred to the Corps' command post. Here, behind the monitors, the crew guides the aircraft directly over the occupied territory of Ukraine. This is what the Russians' logistics routes look like today. It is along these very roads that the occupiers transport everything that fuels their army around the clock, from shells to fuel.
Our priority targets are primarily large equipment, artillery, combat vehicles, vehicles with personnel, then come the trucks, fuel tankers, and so on. The bigger the better. Well, they definitely have problems with gasoline thanks to people like us.
The enemy is already avoiding the usual roads. The sky there is controlled by Ukrainian drone operators, so the occupiers are looking for new routes and hiding their equipment in tree lines, but our pilots find them there too.
Did you see that? Something is standing there.
Yeah, something with the trailer is parked there.
When you're flying, you already know the key points where you need to turn, adjust, and see what's what. This is our job. We must stop them wherever we can so they don't push forward because our land is our land. It's worth fighting for.
Chaklun hits targets all the way near the Russian border, and such round-the-clock pressure has already yielded results. The occupiers are afraid to move at night.
There are actually quite few vehicles out there. Well, what I mean is that their vehicles don't really drive around all night long. Mostly they are all either sitting stationary in the tree lines or just hiding their vehicles away from view. It is quite quiet. In other words, they cannot move at night.
The occupiers will have to continue hiding their equipment in tree lines. And while the Russians are looking for new hiding spots, our drone operators are putting an end to their plans with mid-strikes. Anastasia Vilkova, Alexander Yurasov, Vikna, STB, Yedini Novini.
Yes, in fact, we are seeing an increase in enemy activity. The enemy is trying to increase the number of assault operations, is actively using drones, but at the same time is not abandoning the small group tactics. The enemy is trying to infiltrate to look for weak spots in the line of our defense, to accumulate forces and continue assault operations further. At the same time, there are no grounds to speak of any significant enemy advance in our area of responsibility, because our units are constantly detecting these groups and destroying them while they are still approaching, or at the moment, when the enemy is trying to gain a foothold.
If you look at the deep state map, it seems like the enemy is, well, treading water in your sector. Are you observing whether they might be changing their tactics in some way? Well, considering that they aren't having any particular success.
In reality, the enemy's main tactic remains unchanged. The enemy uses small assault groups and a great many drones. They try to disperse as much as possible using the folds of the terrain, tree lines, and other cover in order to remain less noticeable. But we also see that the enemy is adapting. They are constantly looking for new ways to approach our positions, trying to use every opportunity to advance. Therefore, for us, the key is constant reconnaissance. And the sooner we see the enemy, the fewer chances they have of reaching our positions.
Mr. Vitali, the 3rd Assault Brigade says that the enemy is intensifying airstrikes. The Russians are striking crossings, logistics, and rear areas with aviation every day. How do you manage to ensure logistics in such conditions, and how much do UGVs help you?
Logistics right now is one of the most difficult components of working on the front line, because the enemy is indeed conducting, constant aerial reconnaissance. Constantly, the enemy is using strike drones and aviation. Therefore, classic logistics works much more complexly than it did before. We make maximum use of unmanned systems, in particular UGV, to deliver cargo to places where using automotive vehicles would be much more dangerous. We also actively use specialized drones for delivering small cargo items to our clients. It has really helped us streamline our daily logistics operations. This allows us to provide for our military personnel and also reduces the risk for people.
Mr. Vitali, the other day your brigade released the results of its work over the last few weeks. I see here that you managed to destroy 38 units of enemy equipment. Tell us in more detail what you managed to hunt down and how these results affect the enemy's offensive potential.
That accounts for 38 distinct units of various military equipment and critical assets that were actively utilized for the purpose of supporting the enemy's ongoing combat operations in the region. It is a significant amount of hardware. Among the primary targets identified were various transport vehicles specifically designed for moving personnel, alongside a wide range of other essential equipment and logistical means that the enemy forces currently utilize across the active battlefield. And it's important to understand here that this figure is not just a number in a report. It is, if we destroy, let's say, the enemy's transport, then accordingly, it will be more difficult for the enemy to transport personnel and ammunition to the position. If we destroy the enemy's reconnaissance assets, they will be less able to see the battlefield. If we destroy the enemy's combat equipment, their capabilities to conduct assault operations are reduced accordingly. Therefore, in this way, the systematic destruction of equipment gradually reduces the enemy's offensive potential, and accordingly, the enemy is forced to spend more resources and time to compensate for it.
Mr. Vitali, thank you very much for your explanation. Thank you for your successes and for protecting us. We were on air with Vitali Hanilko, head of the communications department of the 77th Separate Air Mobile Nadniprianska Brigade of the 7th Rapid Reaction Corps of the Air Assault Forces.